What was yesterday? Saturday. Okay, you tell. Mother Earth's birthday. Earth Day, birthday. Isn't it? So, how we can serve our Mother Earth, Nitin uncle is going to explain to us. Especially children, what you can do. What you must do and you will do. You shall do. Yeah, open the curtain completely, please.
Hari Om. Thank you, Swamiji, for taking my punchline, what was yesterday, and grateful for the opportunity. So, Amrishi, can we start, please? So, yeah, yesterday was Earth Day, like Swamiji mentioned, and I think what we should think about over here is it's not 22nd of April where we start thinking about Mother Earth. We should be thinking about every day as Earth Day, and I'll talk about a few things. There is going to be an elaborate presentation for the adults, but there is a homework for all the kids to go and follow up with your parents on what they learned and what we are going to do from here on. Okay? Next slide, please. So, for the longest time, we have all been taught about 3 R's. 3 R's when it comes to sustainability. They have been reduce, reuse, and recycle. But what we are going to talk today about are 6 R's, which is rethink, reduce, refuse, reuse, repair, and recycle. And I'm going to talk about 2 things. One that is going to, I'm going to talk about 2 things, and we'll be addressing everything today except the repair part. We'll leave that for the next time. But I want you to focus on that very powerful quote from Dr. Jane Goodall, and I think that is something we should try to embark in our life every day. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. So the focus is specifically going to be on our planet, which we all have inherited, and it goes on to the next generation. We do not own this planet, but we behave, we treat our Mother Earth as if we own the planet. Next one, please. So I am going to go into the details of this with the parents, but what I want to talk to you about today is very, very quickly. I have this bag with me. So have you seen this in your household? Have you seen this when we go for doing groceries? All right, I was doing the same thing 5 years back, but now in our family, we only use these bags. And you know what does that mean? What does that mean is if I do what I was typically doing, I was consuming 5 to 6 bags a week every time I go to grocery. And then I had no way to figure out where this bag is going to go because ultimately this bag actually has to go back to the grocery store. But now, instead of taking thousands of these bags over the year, we only use 5 of these bags and we're done. These are washable. These are made out of cotton, and the best is they are made in India. So we'll talk about the impact of using produced bags in a minute with the adults, but quickly the next slide, please. What do you see over here? It's trash, right? It's trash. So next slide, please. And what do you see over here now? It's a beautiful bench, right? So the question now is, next slide please. One more time. How can we get that beautiful bench from the plastic trash that you all saw? Any ideas? Go ahead. Say it loudly. Recycle? That's excellent. That is excellent. So we are going to go into the details of what we are going to do, but what I want all of you to do when you go back home is ask 2 questions. Why are we still using this and not this? The second question is going to be, how can we get that beautiful bench for Chinmaya mission? And that's it. So we'll get into the details in the adult time, but really appreciate the time. Thank you. All right. So again, thank you, Swamiji, again. I know I'm taking the time away from what you are going to deliver, but I'll be quick over here. So again, I think, all right. Can we close the door? So the plastic waste problem is omnipresent, and it's ever growing. So I'm not telling anything that we don't see and encounter in our everyday life. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So why I'm calling it specifically about produce bags today. So I'm assuming nobody's using plastic bags for grocery. If you are, you should not be using it. But what I have seen when I go for grocery shopping, most people actually bring their own grocery bags. But there is such a mad rush as soon as you enter the grocery store to tear away 5, 10, 8 produce bags and put it in your cart. And I could not understand for the longest time what's going on over here. I understand there is some hygiene aspect to it. But there are a lot of better ways to accomplish the hygiene aspect. So I actually spoke to a lot of people, and what I've realized, and I'm talking about myself too over here, I was doing it because everybody was doing it. So this is a classic example of normative behavior. I'm doing it because everyone is doing it. They know why they're doing it, so I'm going to just follow them. But what I want to talk about today is why I'm calling it not so harmless. I am going to share with you what it means actually. One more time, click please. So if you're taking 5 produce bags home every week, that's equivalent to 2,510 bags in a year, right? And that's also equivalent to 11.1 pounds of plastic that you're accumulating every year. So the question is, how many of us have the time to go and drop these bags back to the store? And since this is so thin, so flimsy, it just stays away, right? It's easy to put it in trash. So the CO2 released in manufacturing these plastic bags is equivalent to you taking 600 miles road trip. So that's the impact. And again, there are a lot more statistics that I can share, but I'll keep it simple for today. So just the produce bag might amount to taking a 600-mile trip, and all the gases, the exhaust that gets released from your car is equivalent to what we must be doing if you're using 5 produce bags in a week. Next one, please. So I've already talked about this. Bought it from Amazon around 5, 6 years back. At that time, it was $15.99 for 5 bags. Haven't gone anywhere. I have put 10 pounds of produce in these bags, as solid as anything, and they are washable. So we wash them every couple of months, 3 months, as good as new. Next one, please. One more time. So again, when you actually think about what is plastic, and you can actually think about what I'm talking about, both from plastic water bottles, plastic spoons, as well as produce bags or plastic bags if you're still using plastic bags. So just one point of reference, if you're using plastic bags, the footprint of a plastic bag is double the footprint of a produce bag. So just keep that in mind. So what is plastic? Plastic bag is 90+% petroleum and natural gas. So here is the irony of how things work. First, you need energy to get oil out of the ground, right? Oil and coal. Then you need energy to produce plastic. So it's a vicious cycle which keeps going on. Next one, please. One more time. So I don't even know if it's 1 second to produce. They probably have fine-tuned this process, so it might be hundreds of bags produced in 1 second, but just for reference, 1 second to produce, 20 minutes of use. And in our lifetime, we have not seen any plastic that has been produced go away. It's still out there. So recycling is where 9% of the plastic actually gets reduced. And you can see it, right? Whichever side of the aisle you belong to, you can see what's going on. 50% of our oceans are polluted by plastic, and it is microplastic, which is so hard to take out. One more time, please. And to top it off, the industry has obfuscated our thinking by making us believe that plastic is recyclable. So I honestly believe this, you need a PhD if you want to understand which plastic goes where. So that is where the 6 R's comes into the equation, right? You have to rethink, do we need this? Before you even think about reuse, you have to refuse. So you have to refuse those produced bags. You have to pivot towards getting these cotton bags. And I've read so much on internet where people say, what's the carbon footprint of this cotton bag? It takes a lot of water to produce cotton, but I don't want to go there because then you're not going to do anything. Will not take any action because this and that. It is easy. 5 bags have been serving our family for 5 years, and this is going to go on forever, versus 2,000 produced bags in a year. One more time, please. So this is something that I learned not too long ago, roughly 5-6 years back. I used to throw my plastic and produced bags in blue bins. I'm sure nobody does that nowadays, but I was so deep into this topic, it still took me a while to figure this out. This plastic doesn't belong into the blue bin, whether it is your plastic bags or your produced bags. They actually have to be deposited at stores today, even the bags that you get from Amazon. So in my personal story, it was a struggle because even I'm not bringing any plastic from store, we are depositing all these plastic back to the stores. There is still so much plastic that we get as part of packaging. Think about lentils. I mean, lentils comes in plastic bags. Think about your water bottles. For a 24-pack of water bottle, there is so much plastic surrounding that. Toilet papers, Bounty, I mean, name it, plastic is everywhere, right? So I do not know whether we can resolve that, where we can remove plastic from our life, but what is that we can do, right? So next one, please. So let's watch this video first, and then I'll quickly wrap it up. We'll talk about next Trex over here. And as the video is coming up, just wanted to make sure we give the credit where the credit is due. Our Chinmaya family at Somnath.
As consumers, most of us are handling plastic film packaging in our lives every single day. It serves many purposes that includes keeping our products fresh, protecting quality of our goods, and ease of transport. But what is the solution to all of this plastic film packaging once it has served its primary purpose? Introducing Trex, your recycling solution for plastic film packaging into beautiful Trex outdoor living products. It is amazing when you start to realize how often you come across plastic film packaging. Picking up that loaf of bread, grabbing some fruit or vegetables in the produce section. Paper towel, toilet paper goods stay dry with plastic film overwrap. Buying 24 bottles of water with plastic film overwrap is a lot easier to handle than all of those bottles separately. Or how about your nicely pressed clothes from the dry cleaner with the bag over it? All of these items and more are proudly accepted in the Trex program. In today's modern world, we're not only buying from a traditional store, but we're also ordering products online. A lot of these products will arrive in a bubble mailer with possibly another bag inside that is holding the item. Not to worry, these film products are also accepted at Trex. Simply collect your film packaging, and here are 3 quick ways to make sure it can be accepted in the Trex program. 1. Check to see if the packaging is labeled with a 2 or 4. If so, it can be included. 2. see if the packaging will stretch when you pull it. If so, it can be included. 3. Is the packaging shiny or make a crinkly, crunchy sound? If so, it's unfortunately not acceptable. Place clean and dry items in a collection bag or large plastic bag, and the next time you're at your participating store, drop the bag of film in the collection bin that is usually at the front entrance. The store will then collect the material from the bin and include the film with any of the store film that they receive on their incoming pallets of goods. All of these film materials are getting ready for a new life with Trex. The larger bag of bags will then ship back to the store's area warehouse, where it'll be prepared for shipment to Trex. Once the bags of film arrive, there will be yet another opportunity to collect more plastic film that is collected at the warehouse to be included in the next Trex program. The warehouse will place all of the clean and dry plastic film into a standard baler that will make the bales weighing about 1,000 pounds each. These bales will then be loaded on a semi-truck and shipped to a Trex manufacturing plant, proudly located in the United States. Once the plastic film bales arrive at Trex, they'll be processed into our premium outdoor living products, such as Trex composite decking and railing. Trex. You can now relax knowing that you have helped do your part in giving plastic film packaging a next with Trex.
All right. So back to the presentation. Any questions so far? All right, thank you, Amrishji. So again, as part of this plan, so Chinmaya Somnath has been doing it for almost 6 months now. They have been successfully doing it, so we can do it too. And we were under the impression that only schools can do it. I also spoke to Trex, and they said it is for any community center. So we are all set up. We'll be receiving 3 boxes. And if you ask me, our goal should be that between 300 Chinmaya families, we should be able to fill those boxes every week. I mean, that's the amount of plastic that is in our lives today. So you have seen the video, so probably not going to repeat everything, but if you look at a couple of things which are noteworthy, the dry cleaning bags. For the longest time, it does not has a number 4 or number 2, so I was struggling, where does this go? It actually can be recycled through this program, and I'll talk about where this can be recycled, right? The one thing worth mentioning is the Ziploc bags. Every party you go to, whatever leftover is left, people just fill it in a Ziploc bag, you take it home, you take the food out, and you trash the Ziploc bag. We don't do that in our home. We actually clean it and reuse it, and it can stay there forever. One thing worth mentioning over here for everyone, and Swamiji mentioned this yesterday, and it is a super relevant point. When we are asking for you to bring your plastic trash over here, please clean the plastic trash. The biggest problem with recycling is contamination. If you're not going to clean your plastic, it is going to contaminate everything else, and it is just going to go in the landfill where it might be going already today. So if you're putting in the effort, put that slight extra effort and make it easy for all of us. One more click, please. So again, the air pillows, the bubble wraps, these are all what we get for our convenience from Amazon. But one thing that we have confirmed, the bags, the plastic bags, and again, we'll link this presentation. So, and happy to answer any questions. And again, I'm also learning, so I'm pretty positive as you ask questions or if you have ideas, it's only going to get better from here. The bags in which we get the lentils from the Indian stores, the plastic bags, they are acceptable as part of this program. So again, when I think about it, there is only so much plastic that is going to be left, which cannot be recycled as part of this program. So a lot of that recycling thing can happen. One more time, please. So do not include your frozen food bags, the net or mesh produced bags. And again, I personally think we all can be conscious when we pick some of the produce that we produce. If produce comes in one of these packaging, our way of telling the manufacturer that this is not acceptable is by picking the alternate product. I mean, it's as simple as that. We cannot just wait for the governments and industries to change because those changes take a long time. What is that we as consumers, as individuals, as families can do? That is what it is all about. One more time, please. So this is also super important. This picture I've taken in my garage. If you look at how the plastic has been collected, I have not used a fresh plastic bag to put my trash, the plastic trash into those bags. So when you look at your plastic trash, I'm positive every household will have a slightly bigger bag. So use that bag to put your existing plastic trash. Please do not use new plastic bags to put your existing plastic trash. One more time, please. So just summarizing it very quickly, clean plastic only. It doesn't take too much. It should be very quick to clean it up if there is something that is needed. We are shooting for 500 pounds of plastic collection over 6 months, which accounts to 83.3 pounds every month. And the program registration is from the 1st of May. So come next week, if you can start bringing it over here, that will be awesome. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I can tell you one thing. After knowing about this program, we do not have a deck yet. But if I'm going to build a deck, it is going to be Trex deck. That is how I feel about brands who are investing in our everyday life in a positive way. One more click, and Swamiji, I'm done after that. So need volunteers. I see smiles everywhere. I see that we all believe in this, but need volunteers. And I don't think this is going to be heavy lifting. I'm not asking you to volunteer and pick up the trash on Mahasamadhi Day. I'll do that happily. But the volunteers are only supposed to come and check whether the trash has been deposited. Someone has to weigh it. I'll be doing it, but if I'm not going to be here, who is going to do it, right? So it has to be just weighed, and you just have to deposit. Where you need to deposit, the Safeways, the Giants, the Harris Teeter, all accept this plastic, right? There is a portal that Trex has given where we can track what is going to come from our end. It is very easy. They have made it very simple. And it is a faith-based system. Nobody is going to come and do a back check on what we have done or not, but we will play by the rules because that's the right thing to do. And we will get one bench every 6 months, which I think is amazing. With all the land that we have, we'll have good benches. And yeah, I mean, that's my contact information. Please get in touch. I would love if a couple of you meet outside and we at least set a band of volunteers over here for this session. I'm still waiting to hear from the yesterday's session if anybody wants to volunteer. What we do not want to do is we do not want our trash from home to become a problem over here at Chinmayam, which will not happen, but I still think that's the ultimate goal, right? So any questions? One more click, please. Yeah, so I think it goes without saying, right? The choices that we make today is going to decide the kind of planet our kids are going to inherit. I'm not saying it lightly. It is going to be a broken planet. The question is how broken, right? How broken the planet is that our future generations are going to inherit. So any questions, please? That is trash. Unfortunately, that is trash. Yeah. No, I mean, if you can, if you take that pain, absolutely, that is amazing. Extract the plastic out of it. I mean, I can talk about so many things. I have started taking metal out of everything or anything that is trash in my household, and I go and deposit that metal in Shady Grove Recycling. Because there are resources that are used to extract that metal, right? So we, as in U.S., as in the country we live in, I mean, this is motherland, right? 3% of world's population, 33% of world's trash comes from us. It's easy to throw than to figure out what am I going to do with this, right? So let's work on this. Excellent question, though. Anything else? Little louder. Yes. Absolutely. No, I mean, what I'm saying is, what I do is I put a drop of soap when you have all those gravies inside. I rub it, put warm water, it becomes as good as new. Now it's up to you whether you want to reuse it or recycle it. What I'm saying is, we do not throw it because we know we will use Ziploc bags in the future. There will be a point of time where there will be too many and then we'll have to recycle. But the good news is this program will accept the Ziploc bags too. But to answer your question, the best thing is do not use it. If you look at our AFR function, we went with wooden spoons, right? And we have blessings from Swamiji. Going forward after this function that we are going to do, the Mahasamadhi Day, we are going to pivot to proper spoons. That is waste, right? It just goes to the landfill, whether you compost it or not. That's a different thing. Is it needed? It is not needed. And it, all right. Atta bags. Atta bags are not recyclable. I don't think it is because they're much stronger, much thicker. What I do at home is I actually use it as a trash bag. So I put more trash in it and then throw it. Unfortunately, there is no escape from a lot of these situations, but there is at least something. One more question and then we're done. Please. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a pervasive problem, right? It's the mindset. I love Costco, but I hate Costco when I go and see plastic spoons and I see water bottles because I know where 90% of that is going to end up. Shalini ji, one question and then one question over here because I don't want to ignore the youth. That's where the change is going to come from. So we are doing some composting at home. I am guilty as charged, not all the way there, but working on figuring out. And I think we should also think about if there is a way we can start composting from here. That would be great. Then we need to learn from you. Excellent. Then teach us. Please teach us. Have a session one day and educate us. One last question. All right. Excellent point. Thank you. One small detail. If you see all the events, everybody takes the easiest route by bringing the dishes in an aluminum foil tray. Who's going to wash it, right? And if you are not going to wash it, it is actually going to contaminate everything that's going to be there in the trash box. So again, this is where we have to, you are right, absolutely right. Use aluminum versus plastic. But there is so much research even about aluminum utensils and the impact of consuming aluminum in your diet. And again, I read somewhere that in all our human bodies, we actually have one credit card amount of plastic already in our body. I mean, that's the amount of microplastics we consume unknowingly. So anyway, Swamiji, I promised you I will keep it to 26 minutes. I know I've exceeded that. But again, grateful for all the questions, and let's do it. I mean, Can we compete with the Sunday morning session and say that we'll accumulate, not accumulate, we'll collect more trash over here? Saturday morning. Okay. All right, let's do it. Thank you again, Swamiji. Thank you, everyone. Hari Om.